Hey guys, today we're going to use Gemini AI to go a little deeper into Genesis chapter 21. And I'm typing a prompt of what is Genesis 21 about? It's a very simple prompt, but we're going to read together here about what it is. And I want to share with you some insightful truths that I found that could really help you grow your business. Stick with me. Genesis chapter 21 is a pivotal chapter in Abraham and Sarah's life, highlighting the fulfillment of God's promises and the consequences of past decisions. Here's the breakdown. The birth of Isaac is one of them in Genesis 1 through 7. That's great. Number 2, we're going to jump down to Hagar and Ishmael are sent away. Now, this is a very important part. I want to bring up this part because it's actually a critical part in this whole video. And here we go. So Genesis chapter 21, verse 8 through 21, it says, when Isaac was weaned, Abraham holds a great feast. Okay, so he's celebrating his son being born, of course. Sarah observes Ishmael, Hagar's son, mocking Isaac. This mockery likely fueled Sarah's long-standing jealousy and fear for Isaac's inheritance. Now, I want to bring something up here. This is where you'll already hear the word fear. Fear is already brought up amongst Sarah and jealousy coming into the picture. So that's actually a very critical part because this fear and jealousy is actually what sends Hagar and Ishmael away. It's actually what the whole point of them getting sent away. Sarah demands that Abraham and Hagar and Ishmael, that Abraham sends Hagar and Ishmael away, stating that Ishmael will not share the inheritance. So here's the thing. Sarah commands Abraham. Now, listen, we're not going to get here into the details of if this is right or wrong. Should Abraham have taken a stand? But maybe Sarah was Abraham's first true love. I'm not going to get into those details right now. That's not what I want you to focus on. What I want you to focus on is the following parts here where Abraham is distressed. He's distressed by the request as Ishmael is his son. And remember, it's like, I have a son. I couldn't imagine sending my son, my only son, away to wherever, right? However, God tells Abraham to listen to Sarah, confirming that the covenant promises will be fulfilled through Isaac. So a confirmation. God also promises to make a great nation of Ishmael because he's Abraham's offspring. So now, I don't know what the time frame of this is. I'm sure someone much more intelligent could go deeper into that. But here we go. Here is where we're going to dive a little deeper into a very important part. And I want you to pay attention. So lean in. Maybe if you got a pencil, pen, grab some notes. Abraham sends Hagar and Ishmael away with bread and water. Okay, so he sends them away with some food. They wander in the wilderness of Beersheba. And there the water runs out. So listen, I don't know how long they were wandering. I'm sure if I dive deeper, it will be there. But remember, I'm not going deep there right now. This is not a Greek and Hebrew and genealogy going on here. Genealogy and chronological, excuse me. Yeah, this is not what that is. I want to draw your attention in something a little bit deeper here. And that's where Hagar, in despair, places Ishmael under a bush, expecting him to die. Now, I want you to think about that. Basically, we have here, she is in distraught. She is just in a pickle, right? She's probably crying, sad. Ishmael is probably like weak and nimble, and she's just like, let me just put him under this tree so he can die, right? And that's it. And this is the end. And she's probably going to go somewhere and die herself or keep walking. And who knows, right? So God hears the boy's cry. And then an angel appears to Hagar, reassuring her and promising to make Israel a great nation. So I just wanted to think about that. I know there's not much detail here, but imagine you're wandering in the desert for months, however long, even weeks. We're going without water here. And rations are low and zero. So she's at her wits' end. She's just like done. Now it says here, so Hagar in despair goes under a bush. God hears the boy's cry. And an angel appears to Hagar, reassuring her that the promising to make Ishmael a great nation. Now, let's go here. I want to jump back over here for a second. We have all that in summary. And let's just go right here. When the water in the skin, by the way, this is Bible Gateway. When the water in the skin was gone, she put the boy under one of the bushes and she went off and sat down about a bow shot away. For she thought, I cannot watch my boy die. And she sat there and she began to sob. She was crying, right? She's just, God heard the boy crying. And the angel of God called to Hagar and said, what is the matter? Now, can you imagine an angel probably like looking at their situation, saying, what is the matter? Not like, hey, Hagar, doing this. It's actually getting her to talk, getting her to engage, right? So Hagar, right here, what is the matter, Hagar? Do not be afraid. Do not be afraid. Do not fear. Can you imagine being in her situation? Her son's about to die. She's already mentally prepared for that. She's without water, without food. Doesn't look like there's any resources around or any help. God, and he says, do not be afraid. God has heard the boy crying and he lies there. Lift the boy up, take him by the hand, and I will make into him a great nation. Can you imagine? Now, can you imagine now she's like, okay, let's rewind. Let's go get him out from under the bush and let's see what we can do. But here is the most critical, important part. Number 19, then God opened her eyes and she saw a well of water. So she went and filled the skin with water and gave the boy a drink. Let's go back to Gemini and says God opened up Hagar's eyes and she sees a well of water, allowing them to survive. Ishmael grows up in the wilderness of Paran and becomes an archer. That's it. That's all I want to do. I want to stop right there. That's it. I want you to think about this for a second. Here she is crying in despair. And I'm sure she's looked all around, all the different areas, and wondered how she's come to a point where she's given up. She's given up all hope. She's in despair. And because she can't find what she's looking for. She can't find water. That's what she needs. Water and food to survive. Water, most especially. But then God opens Hagar's eyes. He opens her eyes. Thinking about that. Here's the most important part I want you to understand about this whole chapter and lesson here is that when you are in the wilderness, when you are in despair, when you are walking around in circles looking for hope, but all you see is emptiness, unfulfillment, lack, right? You think the end is near. There's no food, there's no water. You can't sustain yourself. You're wondering what's going to happen. How is this going to turn out? How am I going to build my business? How am I going to get customers? How am I going to sustain myself or my family? How are you going to do all that? And you're wondering and maybe wondering around. You give up all hope. You're like, there's nothing left. Let me just put my baby aside and let it die. Now think about that. Have you ever done that in your business? Have you ever taken one of your businesses and put it down and put it aside and said, let me just kill this thing. Let me just let it go. You're like Elsa used to say, just let that thing go. Have you ever been in that situation? You're such in despair and all you see is lack all around you, but then you're wondering well, how am I going to get out of this situation? Here is the trick. Here's the secret. Now I know Hagar was there crying, sobbing. She was in despair. But, we could be thinking okay, maybe Hagar is going to, let's see, pray. We think Hagar is going to, she's going to be crying for 3 days and 3 nights and fasting and praying. It's not there. Do you notice that? There's no fasting and praying. And I'm not saying those things are not good. I like intermittent fasting multiple times a week. My point is that here is where there was activity. The boy was crying. Think of that as your business. The business is crying. Okay? Your business is crying for leads. Your business is crying for sales. Your business is crying for attention. Don't leave your business just there for the weekends. Don't leave your business there just for, on a Saturday morning for 3 hours. No, attend to it. Go pick it up. Do not be afraid. Do not be afraid of what's to come. God hears you. God hears not only your business crying for sales, God also hears you in despair and sees it. But what's really important is that you open your eyes. God opened up Hagar's eyes to see the water. Now think about that. It doesn't say here that the water is 3 kilometers away, 5 kilometers away, 10 kilometers away. Actually, it was probably right near her. It was probably just nearby. But sometimes we can get so wrapped up in our distress. Our eyes can get so much filled with water. Our mind can get so filled with jealousy and lack and comparing that we never really get to see the water that's right around us. For your business needs water, life, sales, revenue. But sometimes you're just wrapped up in the despair of the lack and there's nothing going on. There's nothing happening. You're wondering, God, when is this going to happen? Sometimes an angel is going to show up. Now, I'm not saying a white angel is going to appear in the back of your room or in your bedroom and all that stuff. I'm not here to say that. Hey, maybe it would. But my point is, sometimes there's an angel or someone that shows up into your life. Sometimes it's a brother or a sister, a fellow child of God, to show you the light, to show you or ask you questions and say, hey, do not be afraid. I'm not saying I'm an angel. I'm far from perfect, but I am here to tell you not to be afraid. For as long as I've been doing this, and for as long as I have broken through and found the pattern of breaking through fear, when at the age of 18 years old, I discovered that there's a pattern of doing that. And it's not about crying. You can pray. You can ask for direction. But sometimes it's just right in front of you and you just don't see it. If you need help in uncovering and discovering where your well is, then what I encourage you to do is get in the description, click on a link that speaks to you, or if you're struggling with something, there's something in there that can help you overcome those fears, overcome those challenges, have sales breakthrough in your business, or even just get to your next level in your business. Get in the description, click on the link that matters to you, and I'll see you on the other side.